Do you want to formally announce something right now?
Mind your fucking business!
Cheers. How are you feeling right now?
Scared.
Scared? Can I come in? This is the first time in doing this. This is day 3 for us where my heart is just, it's really choked up. My chest feels like it's tight and I can't like actually take deep breaths into my belly, and I know it's because of the weight of what we're about to talk about. Liza, when we first spoke, I asked you, are there parts of you feel are misunderstood by the world? There is nothing that could have mentally prepared me for what you're about to share with us. You broke my fucking heart. You have survived the unimaginable, things no child or no human should ever have to endure. The weight of your trauma is severe, it's complex, and it's ongoing. You experienced a life of exploitation, silence, and survival. I'm saying this because I know we won't be able to touch on everything today. You survived so much suffering, and I need everyone here in this room and who's listening to understand we are sitting with a goddamn warrior. Thank you for trusting me to hold this space, to hold this container for your truth. Let's just take it slow. I want you to close your eyes right now and breathe into the space. Take yourself to day 1. Let's just take a few breaths here. Let's take a deep inhale and hold for 5.
Damn.
All right. Oh. Can you take us to your origin story? Where were you born? What did home feel like for you in your earliest years?
My origin story? So I was born in Santa Clara, California, January 4th, 1998. And I was born to Jacqueline and John. My mom was 18 at the time and my dad was 22. And they both came from very different worlds, culturally, just literally like physically. They grew up in 2 different countries. But the one thing that they had in common was they were so misguided. And so when I was born, these 2 kids, they were still children. And I feel like I'm giving them excuses right now, and that's what I always do, but they literally didn't know what to do. They were working multiple jobs to make ends meet. My mom sadly had like a really bad addiction to crystal meth. And my dad, he was a chemist, among many other things.
Dang. What?
And so they were kind of like this Bonnie and Clyde duo.
Oh shit.
Not really
Didn't know
thinking
that.
about the consequences for me. And soon after they got pregnant with my little brother, I was not even 1 yet. And then something along the way happened. My dad had a girlfriend and a baby with that girlfriend before my mom, and she had filed for a restraining order against him. My dad had visited them, and a big fight ensued, and eventually my dad got arrested. And because he had so many different cases filed against him, 1 was for making drugs, 2 was for carrying illegal firearms, and 3 was trespassing and not
Damn.
following the restraining order. My dad eventually got deported, and so my mom was left
Oh shit.
with just me and my brother, not really knowing what to do, not really having a plan. And her addiction got worse because she was even using while she was pregnant with my little brother. And
Oh.
so my little brother was born addicted to crystal meth. And yeah, that's kind of where it all started.
You don't have any memory of those years, do you?
I actually do. And I think it's kind of crazy because it comes to me in flashes. Like in very vulnerable moments, like like a sense will get triggered, and I can remember these moments. And these memories have been validated by the things that a lot of the grown-ups around me have told me. I think my earliest memory of kind of all this trauma was when after my mom and dad broke up, my mom started dating this guy named Michael. And this guy was really bad news. I don't even know how long they dated for, but there was a moment where, and I only know this because family told me, but I remember specific moments during that experience. He had stolen a minivan from off the street, and then he took me, my mom, and my little brother, and I was probably, I was 2 at the time. My brother was 1. And I always had like a very strong personality, even as a kid, I feel like. So the earliest memory I have is me trying to get out of a car seat. Why? Because every night they would sleep in the back of the van, my mom, Michael, and my brother. And I was left alone in a car seat. And then I realized, I put 2 and 2 when another memory came to me when I was much older. There was a moment when I tried to escape from the van as like a 2-year-old, but obviously like I didn't know how to get out of a car seat at that age. So I remember one morning I woke up and I just somehow knew how to unbuckle my car seat. And I remember I was making a run for it because at this point we were missing for a few days. I don't know how long, but my mom's family had already filed for a missing persons report, and so we were actually on the news and everything for kidnapping.
What?
And so I ran out of the van, and I can only run so far, right? I'm a baby, I'm a toddler. And then I remember Michael scoops me up. He woke up when I got out of the van. He carried me, and he brought me back to the van. And then there was this big fight between my mom, me, and Michael. Michael was getting really mad because obviously he was about to get caught. My mom had made an excuse because he was just screaming at me, and so she was like, there's some things we need to buy, and we were parked at like a Walmart or something, and she left me and my brother in the van to go buy those things. And when she left me, the next thing I remember, he was screaming at me, telling me to hit my brother in the head with my car seat, to use it to bash his head. And he was telling me that over and over, and I was like, why? No, I'm not going to do that. And he kept on telling me to do that over and over again. I can't even comprehend what's going on. And my brother's a baby. So I was so lost. I didn't even know what to do. Like right now, I don't even know what a 2-year-old would even think of when you're telling them this. And then the next thing I know he hits me in the head with the bottom of a gun that he was holding. He hits me in the head. And then next thing I know my mom's running back to the car, and she had bought batteries for a flashlight. And then a few minutes pass and we hear sirens. And that's when I realized my mom had called the cops.
Girl.
So Michael had pushed my mom out of the car, and I don't remember any of this, but apparently like he had grabbed onto her hair from the window, and my mom's like hair and scalp tore a bit because he started
Yeah.
driving the
Oh,
car while holding onto
oh,
her hair.
hell no.
And then he got arrested. My mom got arrested, and the next memory I have is just being in the back of a cop car with my little brother, and I just remember looking at him and thinking like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Fuck. I can't even imagine what that felt
Fuck.
like. Do you feel like there's like parts of it still in your body? Do you feel that pain?
I feel like immense fear. Like I don't feel pain for some reason. I just feel fear of bringing shame to my mom, even though I know she was the one that did me wrong.
Do you feel like you have to protect her
Yeah.
for some reason? Yeah, that makes sense. It was your conditioning.
So what happened afterwards, my mom was hospitalized for a while, and then she went straight to prison after, which leaves me and my brother parentless. So for a while, we are staying like with our grandmas and everything, but you know, they're really old, so they're not really in the condition to take on like a 2 and 1 year old. So we eventually end up in foster care. And
What? I didn't know she went to foster
I
care.
don't remember, but apparently I went through a few homes before I landed in the one that I stayed the longest in. And the one that I stayed the longest in is the one that I have a very vivid memory of. It was with this lady named Melissa, and she was supposedly my mom's like high school friend, best friend. But like that was really far from the truth, apparently. So I ended up staying with her for like 8 months, and I remember in the beginning it was all right. I mean, I didn't feel super happy or excited about the situation, but it was okay.
Yeah.
And then eventually she started treating me differently as like a few weeks went on. And it started with one of her son's birthday parties. She had 3 kids, so he was celebrating his birthday and he had classmates over, and I remember her telling me and my brother that we should stay in our room from like this time till this time. And so we were just in our rooms, and then out of nowhere, her other son calls us, not the one that's celebrating his birthday, and me and my brother head out, and once we head out, they all started throwing cupcakes at me and my brother. And then I don't know if I saw that as something bad when I was little. I think in my head I thought it was like similar to a pajama party where we were like having fun, like a food fight. So I didn't really think of it as something that was mean. And then the next memory I have is for a while after that, like they would do like family movie nights once a week or something, and I was the only one that wasn't allowed to participate in family movie nights because I was the family dog. So they would literally call me the family dog, and I would have to sit in like a big cardboard box behind the sofa.
Oh no.
And I actually would just sit there like a dog.
The fuck?
And then after that, like she started really. First instance was I was eating spaghetti at the table, and this is why I have a phobia of meatballs now. She forced me to eat a meatball, and I choked. She didn't do anything, she just watched me. And I think she did it on purpose to like make it look like it was an accident.
Yo, she was trying to kill her.
But for some reason, her husband would always step in when it got really bad, but he wouldn't do anything when it wasn't that bad. So he had saved me from choking. And then the next instance was their actual family dog took a shit on the carpet. And she had called me to come clean it up. So I went over, and then I was about to go get like a brush or a toothbrush or something. And when I came back, she was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm cleaning it, like you asked me to." Obviously, like in my little girl voice. And she was like, "No, I want you to use your tongue." And I thought she was kidding
That's
until she
so.
like grabbed the back of my head and forced me on the carpet.
Oh, hell.
And then when you're in foster care, your social worker does regular checks on you. Like, I think it was at least once a month or something. And I noticed this pattern that, like, she would treat me really badly, but whenever it was about time that the social worker was going to come by, she would all of a sudden treat me really nicely, like extra nicely. Like, she would give me Twizzlers. And so I also grew up having like a weird kind of love for Twizzlers randomly. She would just tell me all the things that I wanted to hear. And so whenever the social worker came by and would ask me questions and everything, I'd lie and I'd say everything was fine, that I was happy, that Melissa was so good to me, that the kids were so good to me, that my conditions were fine. I would lie because I would actually believe that she loved me when she said she loved me, because when you're a kid,
Oh,
that's just what you do.
what
You
the
believe anything that
fuck?
an adult says because you think that they have their best interest for you. She just stopped being like a human to me. So there was this one night that we were on our way to this fast food restaurant, and everyone was ordering food from like the drive-through, and she didn't ask me what I wanted. And
Was an
so I
hour,
was like,
like 9
"Can I
minutes?
please have chicken nuggets?" And she was like, "No, you can't eat." So I started crying in the car, but I would always like silently cry. Like I wouldn't try to make a scene because I was so scared of what would happen. And then when we got home, as we parked in the garage, everybody went inside. And then she stopped me at the door, the entrance to the house, and she was like, "You can't come in."
The
And I was
fuck
like,
is wrong with
"Why
her?
not?" She was like, "You've been a bad girl, so you need to be punished." And so she asked me to sleep in the garage that night. And obviously, I was like really scared. It was cold, it was dark, there was no bed.
Oh
So I
my
kept on
god.
banging on the garage door over and over, crying and screaming. And I was like, I'm sorry, please let me in." And then she opened the door and she told me that if I didn't shut up, that she would stuff Justin, my little brother, in the freezer. And so I stayed quiet and I slept there that night. And then after that was a series of her not feeding me and then feeding me. So she would not feed me for days and then all of a sudden feed me a lot of food. And it came to a point where she didn't feed me for like 3 days, I think. And the social worker made a surprise visit. And that was the first time that the social worker had seen the signs of abuse manifest on my body, because my stomach, I was
Oh
so
yeah.
skinny, but my stomach was so
They
big.
should do
It was
that.
bloated.
Can you tell me about what happened next?
After my whole foster care experience, my dad had gotten word about what happened, and he was still in prison here in America. He was in prison for 3 years before he got deported. And he had called my grandparents, his dad and his stepmom, and basically asking them to adopt me and my little brother. And then my grandparents were immediately like, "Yes, we want the Soberano babies." There was a bit of a like a legal back and forth and everything. In the time being, we were staying with my great grandma on my mom's side. And so one day I just remember they came by. They did a few visits before completely taking us, which I really appreciated about them, because my grandparents knew that they didn't, they knew from the get-go that my parents, weren't good for us, but they also knew that we needed to have them in our life. So they didn't want us they don't want to rip us completely of having our real parents in our life. So they slowly like transitioned us into moving in with them. And then when we did, we moved to Visalia, California, which is 3 hours south of the Bay Area. And it was really good. My grandparents took very good care of us. We were living actually a very lavish lifestyle. My grandparents had pretty good jobs. It was the first time that me and my brother were experiencing something like this. But even though that we were in like better circumstances and everything, I was obsessed with my mom. Like, my mom was my everything. In fact, it was the opposite. Like, I craved and longed to be with her. While we were living with my grandparents, my mom would visit, and eventually she started visiting with, it was like every visit she would bring a new sibling to introduce me to. So yeah, that was
Damn.
kind of my childhood in America that I remember. It was a lot of going back and forth
Bro.
between homes, between cities. I lived in Visalia during the school year, during any type of vacation. My grandparents would allow my mom to borrow me and my brother. So there were times during summer break that we would live with my mom for like 2 months at a time, and I was always very happy. Those were like my happiest childhood memories because I got to spend them with my siblings. I think from a very early age, I really took on the responsibility of, or like the role of being the older sister, and I loved it so much. So yeah, I was always looking for opportunities to be with them, to spend time with them. I was such a sweet and affectionate child, I would say, always sending letters to my mom and everything. And during these times, my mom was actually doing well too, I believe, because I got to see her for myself, that she wasn't on drugs during those times. But who knows, like, I found out a lot of things later, but everything seemed fine. She eventually got married to my stepdad, and they had babies too. And so I thought all was well. But then eventually my grandpa, my Filipino grandpa, got really, really sick. He had type 2 diabetes and had a heart attack that
Oh
eventually
shit.
led to open heart surgery. And during these times, my grandparents faced like a very bad financial setback. We ended up having to move out of the house that we were living in. We moved into a new home. And my grandma had to quit her job because she had to take care of my grandpa. And because of that, they made the decision to send me and my brother to the Philippines to meet our dad for the first time. And I strongly opposed to this. I didn't like my dad at all. I didn't grow up with him. I knew of him. I would talk to him on the phone from time to time, but I couldn't never imagine myself going to the Philippines and living with him full time, but that's what needed to happen. And so at the age of 10, my brother and I migrated to the Philippines to live with our estranged father.
What was it like returning to your father after so long?
It was so uncomfortable because he demanded so much from me as a daughter that I feel was like unmerited because he wasn't around. I remember the first meeting we had, it was at the airport in the Philippines, and you know, I'm in culture shock. Like, it's my first time out of America, like flying ever, and I'm in the Philippines, and at the time Manila wasn't what it is now. It was not as developed, and so a lot was going on, a lot of fear, a lot of uncertainty. And then out of nowhere, this guy comes up to me and kisses me on the cheek, and it's my father. And I pushed him off of me, and I'm disgusted. And he was like, "Hi, Hopi," because my real name is Hope. And I'm like, "Who are you?" He's like, "It's Daddy."
What?
And I was like, "John, nice to meet you," because it's like he expected that we would act like we knew each other all this time when we've only had like conversations on the phone that would last like 3 minutes. So yeah, he didn't know how to take it step by step, and it just made me very uncomfortable.
I just want to take a few moments to reflect on everything that just came up for you. Can you tell me if baby Liza was sitting with you right now, what would you want her to know?
I would want baby Liza to know that it's not her fault. I think that one thing that I realized is I developed this habit of making myself so small out of fear of being a burden to people, because I was afraid that if I did something that they didn't like or something that upset people, that they wouldn't want me anymore.
So it was from the outside world, and was there anyone in your internal world that was giving you that love?
It was also my love team partner, or my career partner. For those of you who are not familiar with what a love team is, his name was Enrique, and he was my first love.
You started acting at 12, right? Mm-hmm. And before you even had a chance to catch your breath, you were placed into this love story. One that was created for you, not by you. There was no break between the pain and the performance, just a costume change. And somehow, you kept going.
She was already
I don't
acting
think
in a
many
love
people
team by
understand
12.
what that does.
No, not in a love team. She was already acting by 12. Like she was at 12 years old. She started acting at a young age.
To a person, can you help me understand what love teams really are and what they were for you? Okay, so what a love team is, and this is based on how I feel like other people interpret it, is it's kind of like this fairy tale romance that the whole country is in on. It's when they put two actors or ship two actors together, and we end up basically becoming career partners, in the sense that we do every single TV show, film, commercial, you name it, together. And for some people, the romance is real. For others, it's manufactured. And we are told by the people that create these love teams, which is usually like the studios, the networks, management, that we're not allowed to have a publicized romance outside of the love team because it's damaging for the growth of the love team. So if you're lucky enough to actually be in love with your love team partner, it's great. But for other people that aren't actually in a relationship, it's restricting, and it's
like
basically
to an
living
arranged marriage.
a life in a lie. For me, what love teams was really like, it was a bit of a fantasy to me, but it was also more of, I treated it more like a safety net. When I started working with my love team, it was the first time that I truly felt like I wasn't alone. Through my love team, I gained a lifelong best friend, my first love, but also it's when all the violence and abuse stopped, because I started also earning more and being able to pay for things by myself. I was able to take myself out of poverty because of the love team, and I was able to do all the things that I couldn't before without people
Oh my god.
bringing me down. So yeah, the love team was a safety net, but also like
This is my love team.
an armor for me.
Right here. My wife is my love team.
Can you
Yeah,
tell
and
me
she's
when
the
you realized
management,
you were
the
actually in love
network,
with,
yeah.
is it Enrique?
You.
Yeah. So his name is Enrique, but his nickname is Ken,
Studio.
spelled Quen. And the first time I realized I was in love with him, so our love story kind of happened actually very organically. It didn't really start as a manufactured love team first. Like, there were feelings before we even were a love team. He had the same manager as me, and so it was inevitable for us to meet. We met in a dressing room at the studio, and he had said hi to me. And I thought he was, immediately I thought he was really cute, but I didn't think anything of it because I was meeting all these celebrities, and I was really young at the time, and I wasn't in the headspace
Yeah,
for
he's like
looking for a
he's much
boyfriend or
older
anything.
than her.
And then
Yes.
Yeah.
I heard from a lot of people that were working at the studio that he was requesting to work with me specifically. And so we eventually ended up doing a movie together where we weren't the lead roles, but we were like the second lead. And I played his best friend, and there was like a budding romance between the two of us. And I think that's when, in hindsight, that's when I fell in love with him, but I think I was suppressing it the whole time because he was already an established actor, and he had already done so many TV shows and movies with other actresses who were very successful, and I was just up and coming at the time. So I didn't think that there was ever a possibility, really. So I kind of kept it to myself, or I didn't even allow myself to go there. But then after that, filming that, he started texting me a lot. And he did a TV show with another actress, but he was texting me. And so that's when I felt like really special, I guess, because he would talk about how much he wished he was doing it for me instead. So that's when it started. It started before the love team.
Can you tell me about the feeling of anticipating hearing from him?
I want to know why they
Yeah.
broke up, though.
So actually, there's a funny story of how we first started kind of like actually talking
I mean,
outside
yeah,
of
her
work.
shit says, mind your fucking business.
I was preparing for exams at school because I was going to school and working at the same time. And someone calls me at like 12 midnight. And I don't normally answer phone calls from miscellaneous numbers, but I don't know, for some reason that night I just did. And I answered the call, and then he had put on a voice, but I knew it was him, and he was like, you ordered pizza, I'm outside. And I was like, no, I did not order pizza. I was just kind of playing along with it the whole time, but I actually kind of knew that it was him. His voice was peeking through a bit. And so that's where the conversation started, from him trying to prank me. It was a failed prank. I can't get pranked. And then, yeah, it just,
Do you still
I
love
remember
him?
that was the first time that I actually felt, there's this Filipino word called
I think she
kilig,
does.
which translates to butterflies in your stomach. And I started feeling kilig all the time, and just being giddy all the time, and really wanting to succeed because I wanted to work with him. Yeah. Kilig. I like that.
Kelly.
Okay, so
Them.
in terms of like the public
Bullying
kind
in
of
the
people relationship, what is it
Good
feel
job,
like to have
girl.
millions of people projecting their fantasy of love onto your actual life? And did that ever impact the love that you guys had for each other?
Good question.
It was a lot of pressure to be someone worthy of looking up to, a lot of pressure to please the people that were betting on us as stars or as actors. And it was also very
Y'all bet
confusing
on y'all
because
love team?
this was like
Yeah,
my
they
real
bet.
first
They bet
boyfriend.
on love teams on who's
And-
the best. And who's the cutest. And who can do more. Yeah. Fucking
It
crazy as
was
fuck.
happening in such a public manner that, and also during a time when social media was becoming so big in the Philippines, that I didn't know how to properly set up boundaries between what I was okay sharing with the world and the public and what I wanted to keep for ourselves.
Yeah.
So I was very candid and unfiltered about it. I just always obeyed the cardinal rule of not admitting that we were actually in a relationship, but we would constantly tease the fans and kind of lead them on. I mean, we were actually together, so we're not leading them on, but we wouldn't give them that final yes until we felt like it was the right time, which happened 5 years later, I believe.
So what did it feel like to not have to keep it a secret anymore?
It was very freeing because it came to a point where it kind of felt stupid to not admit it anymore because it was so obvious. Like, we were hanging out literally all the time. Like, vacations were spent together with our families. So it was very funny to me that we weren't admitting it. And whenever we would be like doing interviews or whatever, we would just deny, even though like we were holding hands while denying it. So it was really jarring because you want the fans to like be killing for you and you want them to like fantasize about you being together, but you don't want to give them the yes. So yeah, I kind
Girl,
of
eat
felt
your
like a
ice cream. It's
trickster at
melting. If
times,
you don't
to
want
be
to eat it,
honest.
I'll eat it.
It was very freeing to not keep it a secret anymore.
Maybe you're drooling.
Was there ever a moment where you were like, wait, am I even in love? Or
Stop,
just
you're gonna
playing
scare
someone who's in
Sahabi.
love?
It's him looking at me.
I would
Bro.
say I always knew I was
He's
in love
wrestling
with him,
too.
and I was very much deeply in love. It's just that I started at some point questioning the things that I would do publicly. I didn't know if I did that from a place of love, from being a proud girlfriend, or to please other people. So no, I never had to pretend that I was in love with him, except for moments when we would fight, probably, and we would be on set, and then once we leave our green room, I'd have to pretend that we were okay. But even if you're fighting and angry, love is still there. Yeah, I think it's just a question or a matter of, were all my actions truthful, and or did they feel truthful to me in the moment?
Do you
I
wanna
mean, you took them, so I would say
totally
yes, they
announce something
were.
right now?
Yeah, I've been
Do you
honestly
think she's an overthinker?
itching
She is an
to
overthinker. After everything she's been
tell
through, she
people this
overthinks.
because
Yeah.
I haven't been very truthful. Ken hasn't been very truthful.
It's
Ken and I
this.
broke up. But yeah, we've been broken up for almost 3 years now. And the reason, well, originally the reason why we haven't said anything about it is because Enrique or Ken asked me not to say anything about it first. And I don't want to speak for him, but I think it was coming from a place of not wanting it to be real. And at the same time, I agreed to that because I also didn't want it to be real. And this is coming from the people pleaser side of me because I was so afraid that if people found out that we weren't together anymore, my career would go bad, or, people just wouldn't love me anymore. And so it's like,
Aww.
I just, it was me again, like just pretending or
Give her some time. She's still,
Putting-
navigating.
putting the things that I need to do.
Do you remember the moment you emotionally left, even before you left physically?
Oh, wow.
Oh wow.
That's like a yes and no question. I think a year before I actually broke up with him, there were already
Stop
signs
it. Don't
that
start that.
were showing me that I was unhappy. But because I had built up this kind of toxic habit of pushing away anything that I felt like bothered me because I was afraid of confrontation, I decided to just swallow it or like sweep everything under the rug. I kind of accepted, I remember I did like a mental check with myself and I accepted that there were certain things about him that I wasn't okay with and that it's just always going to be like that. And that's just life. Like you win some, you lose some. You have to deal with the good and the bad.
Like you.
Yeah.
So I was like mentally telling myself these things because we were
That's
already
her advice
at
to
that point
everybody.
almost 8 years
That's just
together,
how life
and
is.
I was genuinely expecting us to get married like soon, but then that didn't happen. And so when I broke up with him,
She wanted to marry him.
And he didn't want to get married?
Oh my god.
What? Now I'm mad.
so it was such a beautiful breakup because it was still so full of love. That's why I say yes and no, because it was so hard for me to actually break up with him because I love him. I still love him as a person. When I look back at like our time together, I just see good moments all the time. And he's like, I think of him as like a childhood best friend. And so it's just so beautiful. And, you know, I carry a lot of guilt for not being the one that held on because that's what my fans wanted to do.
See?
But also, like, I needed to find myself and grow too. And there were things that
I'm so proud of
I
you.
knew that I shouldn't tolerate
No, you
for the
shouldn't.
people that look up to me, for the younger me, and also for my future children.
No.
And that's not to say that he's a bad person. He didn't do anything bad. Nothing bad happened. Our breakup was really good. It was just, we weren't a match anymore.
It's okay.
You know, sometimes we have to learn to be selfish, to protect ourselves, and choose ourselves. And I don't think walking away was a bad thing because you were choosing you and you were choosing finding yourself and finding your freedom away from him and finding your independence. So it makes me sad that you feel guilty. Do you think you can get to a place in your heart where you liberate yourself from the guilt, having chosen yourself?
I really genuinely hope I do. I still feel very bad about it. Like whenever I talk to him, we still talk from time to time. Whenever I just, you know, check in on our group of friends, I can't help but feel like they feel like I was so selfish, and I was being selfish, and I feel guilty about that. Like I don't know, I feel like I was born to be the understanding person, and I don't know why I couldn't do it in that moment, and I forever, like, will hate myself for that.
You shouldn't,
But
though.
at the same time, like, I knew deep down in my core that something was wrong, and that I would be doing a disservice, not only to me, but to him, if I didn't say anything or do anything about it. So, I'm not there yet, but I hope to be.
I'm proud of you for being able to choose yourself, though, and I hope that you can feel proud of yourself too one day. I feel like you prioritize every single person in your life before yourself.
Look at my
So,
side
like,
profile.
just think of baby Liza in
You're
this
like
moment
conehead.
and tell her she deserves to put herself first, you know?
Bro.
If you could say
I can't wait to see
her
Chop.
right now, what would you like to say?
I wish you would love yourself a little more.
That's what I'm saying.
And to the public who are nosy and shaming you and slut shaming you, do you remember the line you gave me that you want to say to them?
Mind your fucking business.
Louder!
Mind your fucking business!
As loud as you can.
Mind your fucking business!
Period.
Damn.
I want you to close your eyes and picture freedom. What does it look like now?
Freedom looks like an open field.
Oh, I thought she was gonna
Just
say minding your fucking
full
business.
of life, full of green pastures, flowers, butterflies, birds. It feels like it just feels so open and airy.
It's her stabbing the kid, bro. That shit was funny as hell.
And it
bro.
feels safe.
It's really beautiful. Do you feel like you have that freedom right now?
No, I don't feel like I have that freedom right now.
What do you need to get that freedom?
To mind your fucking business.
I need to let go.
Grabs the knife.
I need to let go of caring about what other people think about me before caring about what I think of myself.
Right.
I need to put myself first.
Yep.
And I need to truly not give a fuck.
Yep. But these people.
Can you make a promise to Hope, to Liza right now, that she's going to do that moving forward?
Hope, I promise you. I'm never going to let anyone make you feel inferior.
Period.
Ever.
Are you crying?
I just want to share something really quickly. But my friend recently told me that when there are birds around, there's no danger. And I felt that was really comforting. And the fact that there's birds chirping around right now is a nice little affirmation that you're safe, and we all are. Did you hear that?
I was agreeing with you.
They're talking to us right now. It's very special. Can you tell me whose approval you're finally done chasing?
Uh-oh.
I'm done chasing approval from my family. I'm done chasing approval from my fans. I'm done chasing approval from industry people.
Period.
And from people I, quite frankly, that I don't care about.
Don't give a fuck
them.
about.
Fuck
That's it.
them.
Right. I like her.
So I want you to cut the cake and let every slice represent someone who has hurt you. Go ahead.
This first slice is dedicated to Michael, whom everyone has heard about in the first part.
It's a foster father.
Here you go, Michael. Here's to being a piece of trash.
Yeah, he didn't do nothing when the mom was treating her. But he was always step in, but not like.
And this is for Melissa. Melissa, I hope you burn in hell.
Damn straight.
This? I didn't get to introduce you to him, but this is for JR. JR was my first kiss. Fuck you, JR.
What did he do? I think he took her first kiss. I'm like,
What?
oh yeah.
This is for you. So fuck you. You don't even deserve my love. You don't deserve a sorry from me. You don't deserve a single word from me. Okay?
Ooh. Did she say Mike again? No.
Okay? This is for you.
Oh, they took
What?
the name out.
This is for you. So fuck you. You don't even deserve my love. You don't deserve a sorry from me. You don't deserve a single word from me. Okay?
I want to know who that is now.
And last but not least, I'm going to be a little nicer with this one. This is for Liza. Liza, you were so hard on Hope. You didn't love her
Oh,
properly.
good man.
Shit.
You allowed her to suffer in silence.
Liza.
So
That's
this
her.
is saying goodbye
Hope
to
is her
old
real
habits,
name, like her
toxic
like
habits,
official name. Liza is her like
and I hope that we grow and heal.
or whatever, like the secondary name.
What do you want to do to those slices?
Honestly, I just want to smash them. I just want to smash them all.
Get the knife and stab the king.
It feels so good.
Any final words before we wrap?
I just want to say thank you, Sarah, for giving me the space to feel safe to release. I'm crying again, but I never feel like anybody actually listens to me, even when I'm crying for help. So it's nice. So thank you. And I just hope that everyone will be a little kinder to themselves and not tolerate bullshit. Don't let people hurt you. Don't stay because you're afraid of rocking the boat. Love yourself first, and life will get so much better.
Period. Say it, say it. Oh, that's it. Oh yeah, that's not bad. She's in her comfort zone. Select edition. Period. Hold on, let me see. Who's the Can I Come In? Liza. Oh, it's 22 minutes ago. Oh, this is like a trailer.
I developed this habit